50 bags, Skilly Bang on 104.5 Vibe Radio, hashtag Morning Vibes. Tuko kwa MVP reporter. Yo guys, we are live by the way. We're live on social media, hashtag Morning Vibes on Facebook and on YouTube. Alafu pia unaweza tupata on Burudani TV, that is on channel 172 hapo hivyo on Star Times. Yes, Star Times it is. Alright, and for those on the frequency, you know, the old school ones like us, do remember here in Nairobi 104.5, alafu Mombasa 98.7, Nyeri we are on 98.8, Meru 107.1. Now Liliwa show special guest in the building, Honorable Zaheer, Jhanda, MP Nyeri Chache, and today we're talking about inside the Kenya Kwanza's Naivasha retreat. Mheshimiwa, karibu sana.
Asante, thank you so much.
It's been a while, eh?
Yeah, it's been a long time kusukumana na kibarua.
Yeah,
asante sana.
It's good to see you.
Giving me this chance once again.
Yeah.
To come pole, nimechelewa kidogo.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Unajua
mambo ya Nairobi traffic.
Yeah,
but we are here.
We are here and we're going to talk about so much as Joto yani. It's becoming unbearable.
Yeah, it's too much.
It's too much. Right, but kuna hiyo retreat happening in Naivasha, of course.
Yes.
You guys as a team, as a coalition, muna audit the progress, maybe a bit of a re-strategizing in the
That's right.
Yes, just keeping Kenyans abreast as well. Eventually, I guess, when it comes to the progress of the government. Now, nilikuwa na conversations jana na watu, some analysts kwa ground pia and Kenyans are patient. That's one thing I can tell you, Mheshimiwa, especially when it comes to the government sorting out this economy. But pia at the same time, watu wanasema, what is the point of this retreat going down huko hivyo Naivasha? Si tumekuwa nayo tu hapa hivi Nairobi. We go to some tuende KICC ama tuifanyike hapo State House. In fact, we also saw the president going hard on members. He was scolding members, quote unquote. Now, have a listen to this and then we can pick it up from there.
Sure.
I know there is always a temptation to do what politicians do, and that is to focus at the next election. I want to urge you, let's do what leaders would do. Let's focus at the transformation of our country, and let us focus at what contribution we can make to change the destiny of our country by focusing on the next generation. We will implement the housing program. I don't want to say by whatever means possible. I have just said we will implement. We will. Because it is what other progressive countries have done. When I had one of our friends say yesterday, I don't know the day yesterday or the day before, that when he sees things, he feels like crying. It is true. Because they are now wondering, it was actually true that housing was possible, and we wasted time on reggae.
Alright, so it's 7:45 now. For the record, my guys, tuko na Honorable Zaheer Jhanda. He's the MP Nyeri Chache, and today we're talking about ile retreat na go down in Naivasha by the Kenya Kwanza coalition. Now, the president over there sounded a bit frustrated. No, ukiangalia kwa page 5 of the Standard, Mheshimiwa, they're saying Ruto scolds party leaders over foreign jobs. The president has put on notice Kenya Kwanza legislators for failing to support the government's initiative on job creation. He took issue with what he considered ignorance by parliamentarians for not doing enough to link Kenyans with foreign job opportunities. This came as it emerged that of the 2,500 advertised jobs, only 500 nurses had applied for the positions, with many MPs and senators admitting that they were not aware of the opportunities. I asked you a question earlier, kabla nicheze hiyo clip. Some Kenyans are actually questioning the point of kupeleka retreat to Naivasha at a time when the government is saying it's very broke. Alafu the president now, he's scolding members of the governing coalition, saying, you guys surely I'm just saying kutafutia mavijana kazi. Now what's the point? You can address those issues, Mahesh.
Thank you. First things first, if you can allow me to say two things. Number one, Naivasha is in Kenya. Naivasha, we have hotels. When we as government go to Naivasha, it means we're also creating opportunities, job to those people the economy for those 2 days inabadilika. So I mean, it's just a normal retreat when we just decide that let's not do the meeting here because tumekuwa kwenye recess. You know, a lot of things happening. State House inatengenezwa. There's a lot of renovation going on in the State House. So I mean, we decided let's just go to Naivasha. It's in Kenya. So I don't think there's a problem on that.
Isn't it expensive at a time when tulikuwa tunaona government wakisema, the president saying actually that he will do everything possible to observe austerity measures, overspending attacking.
Absolutely, but you see sometimes uweze kosa kukula pia, you know, like to eat food. So such meetings are of national importance, like the retreat that we had yesterday.
Yes.
It is of national importance. You know, let me give you a brief about yesterday's retreat.
Yes, please.
Yesterday's second national executive retreat in Naivasha, which was led by His Excellency President William Ruto and His Excellency the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, you know, it offered us a platform to strategize, create synergy, and reflect on how we will continue executing programs and programs and agenda of the country, so that we can realize the bottom-up economic transformation, you know. And of course, yesterday's meeting also brought together all leaders to discuss matters of national importance and national interest, and it will and actually it will be held annually, you know.
Okay.
So that we can gauge what we promised wananchi during the campaigns, what we achieved as a Kenya so far, what we have achieved as a Kenya Kwanza government, and of course we ought to be doing, to be going forward, you know. Also, we must also work together in realization of the bottom-up economic agenda that aims at expanding opportunities for Kenyans.
Sure,
you know. And as leaders, we are also looking at, as leaders, we are also trying to prioritize, you know, what is good for this country, you know, what is good for Kenya, you know, and we have to deliver on our commitments that we gave and we pledged in our manifesto, in our campaigns, you know, like for example, the housing project, it was part of the manifesto.
Exactly.
You know, it is not something that was created the other day by the president. No. Kenyans know it very well, and Kenyans should not judge us harshly. No, we presented our manifesto to this country, to the people of Kenya, and told them these are the things that we as Kenya Kwanza, when we take over power, these are some of the things that we want to do.
Sure thing, but Mheshimiwa, when you have an overview of government agenda so far, how can you assess it? Imekuwa fiti? Is there areas where you can you think government can improve on? What stood out for you when you're looking at when the whole meeting was going down, the auditing and everything? What stood out for you? How can you assess the whole performance of the government so far, hadi leo?
So far, the programs we have executed have positive impact to wananchi.
Okay.
For example, let me give an example. Look at the jobs abroad, you know, that the president has been talking about, you know. These are the programs, and that is actually, let me put it this way. From what you played, the president was very furious. Why? Because the government announced 2,500 jobs to Saudi Arabia. I mean, it's crazy. And Kenyans have not applied. Ni wale wame apply ni wachache sana.
Na blame legislators for that. Anasema, how is it that kulikuwa na 2,500 opportunities but only 500 Kenyans have applied, and those are the ones who are going? It means people are not aligned. Legislators are not aligned. What is wrong? Kwa sababu kuna watu wanasema, you see how the president is so pissed like that? They're letting him down. His team is letting him down. And maybe right now is the perfect time for some sort of reshuffle after this retreat. What do you have to say about that?
I think probably from where I sit, maybe someone was sleeping on his or her job.
Okay.
In regards to the jobs, because Kenyans want jobs. But I think the criteria which they ya kuenda kutafuta ya ku-advertise and to communicate to Kenyans was, I think, hapo ndio naona kidogo someone alilala kwa hiyo kazi. Because by the time the vetting came, I mean the advert came out and everything, I mean very few Kenyans had applied. You know, so I think they are going to re-advertise.
Or maybe Kenyans are not interested.
How possible, bro? Watu wanataka mwera mazee.
Unadhani watu wanataka kwenda majushu wali waache hapa hivi familia zao?
Of course. What do you mean? My friend. They are even kuna Wakenya walikuwa wanaenda mpaka Libya just to cross over to go to Europe. I mean, we are actually trying to reduce that kind of risk, and that is why even Turkey have very wameka restrictions kwa visas na nini to avoid people who are going through the intelligence report. Kenyans were going to Turkey so that wakaingia Libya, wapi wa cross over waende Europe, and the president said no, we have to take our people to Europe in a decent way.
And I mean, I'm appreciating the idea, the effort by the government, kwa sababu joblessness inaturamba sana. There are many Kenyans, millions of young Kenyans who, as much as wako na skills, wako na mapapers, they're still unemployed. But at the same time, there's this argument of brain drain, mheshimiwa. They're saying we're losing some of our best brains. Watu wanaenda huko hivyo majuu kufanya makazi. Why can't we just develop our industries hapa hivi mtaani, retain our best guys, grow our economy? Isn't that a good strategy as well?
But don't forget, we have the foreign investment coming in from the diaspora, which is huge. So we are actually expecting to export our citizens who have expertise in plumbing, in nursing, in so many fields, so that they can go and earn dollars and send them back home na tujenge nchi.
Do you encourage your constituents kwanza wenye mavijana wenye wana makazi wa apply for hizi majobs za majuu?
Let me tell you, my brother, mimi kama mbunge wa Nyaribari Chache.
Kevin.
No, of course I know Kevin.
That's okay.
Let me tell you, my brother Kevin. Today, as I sit on this platform of yours, I, as the member of parliament Nyaribari Chache, I have taken 28 guys from my constituency to Qatar. They never paid nothing. You know, Qatar wanted border riders. So I advertised in my constituency. There were about 20 slots for those guys. But I pushed very hard. Today, I have taken 28 guys. They are earning over 100,000 shillings in Doha. You know, free medical, free food, and free accommodation. You know, and the guys are doing well. You know, they are calling me, telling me, Mheshimiwa, you are a great guy. Asante, maze, nianza leta kazini wangu, nianza leta nani. Yes,
that's
you
a
know,
step in the
so
right direction.
I'm doing it. You know, because we have to create opportunity. You know, a leader has to open doors for others. You know, and create opportunities for others. It's not about you. It is about the people who gave you the mandate and the responsibility to lead them. So you cannot be selfish. You have to do that. That's what I'm doing. So this thing of kupeleka watu nje, iko chonjo kabisa.
Acha nikuulize kitu Mesh. Unajua ukiangalia the president's governing style, yani the way he goes about running mambo ya affairs za serikali, there's some people who say he's a serious micromanager. He doesn't really give his team an imperative to perform, especially CSs. What do you have to say about that? Watu wanasema unajua preso kwanza, ever since he started being called a doctor, kuna venye mazee yani, you know, he's too hands-on and it's making CSs not have a mind of their own, very hard to perform. What do you talk about? What do you think about those allegations?
Those are just allegations. The president is a hands-on guy. It's absolutely true. Why? Because he has to be there and make sure, you know, Kenyans are used to be supervised, you know, na wanafanya vitu I mean, they are not used to be supervised, wanataka kufanya vitu kivyao. This guy, one man, His Excellency William Ruto, is a hands-on guy. It is true. But what you're saying is just not true. He has given the job, he has given someone a position as a cabinet minister. My friend, if you sleep, you go home, and he has to make sure that because we are running out of time, we have to deliver to Kenyans. So he has to be there. Anakuliza oya. You know, it's like the way you come to work. You know, you come to work and you find your boss here asking you, Kevo, mbona umechelewa? Mbona hii kazi haijafanyika? That's it. because ukiwacha hivi mambo itasambaratika. So I don't think it's true that no.
Because in several locations tumona Mr. President akisema how can I know more about your ministry more than you. Umona vile sai prezo ana scold party officials, members of the coalition, anasema you guys mnafaa kutafutia Wakenya makazi. How is it that only 500 people will apply for hizo makazi? Are we expecting a reshuffle?
Not really so far. No, not really. I think the guys have been, we just came into government. Kevo, let me tell you something. As a member of parliament, I'm in the National Assembly for the first time. It takes time to learn and understand things. Running a country is not a joke. These cabinet secretaries, some of them, the ones who've been there before, like in Chir, they've been in government. They're doing very well. And don't forget, the president himself has been in government has been in government for a very long time.
Absolutely.
So he understands. He knows what is right and what is wrong. He knows bei ya sukari leo. He knows bei ya unga. So you can't come and bei ya mbolea. You can't just come and tell him that
true.
Your Excellency, tunaweza kununua hii ama hii darasa. He's been a member of parliament before, like myself.
Exactly.
So he knows, and that's why he's a hands-on. And you see, he's not a guy who will just sit and just wait for visitors to come. And no.
All right, so guys, tuko na mheshimiwa MP Nyeri Chache, Honorable Zaheer Jhanda. Tukirudi we'll talk about hii kazi rao amepewa hii sasa. Now he has to go and mobilize ndo akuwe na hiyo position ya chairman of the Commission of AU. We'll get into that in the next hour right after the news. Right now, Kelechi Africana Ring. It's a Pan-African Tuesday, guys. Shikilia hapo #morningvibes. Twende, don't move,
This is the Morning Vibes on Vibes Radio.
Up people on 104.5 Vibes Radio. I hope uko fiti. It's 12 minutes after 8 and man, it's a Tuesday, Pan-African Tuesday, also Dancehall Tuesday, the 20th day of February. My guys, we are hoping unajibamba sana na hii conversation. Do remember we're hanging out with mheshimiwa MP Nyeri Chache, that is Zaheer Jhanda. Sasa ka uko na maswali, guys, why don't you ingia hapo kwa social media yetu, tumia #morningvibes and let me know. Mesha kwa hivi, I'm sure he's very open-minded. Tutagusia hizo maswali na ma comments nini. Nimecheki there's some people over here from your constituency. Let me just read these my comments. Watu wanasema unafanya kazi safi sana. Yeah, people appreciating the hard work.
Yeah, thank you.
That is the one on only. Let me get that comment haraka. I'm curious mheshimiwa.
Yes.
Ukiangalia vile situation iko kwa ground, especially even on the media, on the internet, not just the ground. Kazi, the economy, people are thinking, sasa tena vile prime cabinet secretary ametuambia tukue patient, nini. For how long should struggling Kenyans wait, mheshimiwa? Yeah?
My brother, to be very honest, when we took over government, this government was in a very bad state. It was on a time bomb. The economy was really bad. You can see, for example, those guys had deflated over $2 billion. $2 billion. And creating an artificial dollar rate, maintaining at around 120, 100 and whatever, And the president said, when we took over power, His Excellency President William Ruto, he said, no, we have to make some painful decisions for the best interest of this country. And let me tell you for the record, President William Ruto's agenda is not about 2027. His agenda is to transform the economy and the livelihoods of the people of Kenya and this country. And that is why some decisions had to be made. Not popular, but for the best of today and for the future of this country.
Right. Na ukiangalia bado maneno ya kazi, for example, I feel like bado tunafaa kurevisit, we need some clarification, kwa sababu ukiangalia on page 5 of the Standard, they're talking about how the president scolds party leaders over foreign jobs. Sasa anasema, how is it that okay, let me just read what he said here. The president took issue with what he considered ignorance by parliamentarians for not doing enough to link Kenyans with foreign job opportunities. And off air here, mheshimiwa, you told me kazi ziko, Wakenya wanafaa ku apply. You even encouraged your constituents to apply for these jobs. You've hooked some of them with these jobs. Lakini kwa ground 500 people are the only ones who applied for, so for example, IPV nursing positions. Some vacancies are nursing jobs. Why is it that Kenyans don't seem to have really urgency?
Okay, let me give
you apply for these jobs.
Let me take you through Kevo. What happened after the Kenyans applied? Saudi Arabia had made some they gave some restrictions. They actually wanted 2,500 nurses. What they meant were women, because of you understand about Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
So by the time many Kenyans applied, and the ladies who applied and some of those who qualified were, but I also not really take blame, but I think from where I sit as a member of parliament and coming from the ruling coalition, I think what we are going to do is to also advise the president, because he's a listening president to all of us. We will advise him that, and he knows, by the way, that moving forward, the country the world has changed. It's a digital world. And that advertisements like for job opportunities like the one in Germany, some are coming from Lithuania, Canada. It's real, Kevo, ni real. Sasa tutamuuliza so that aweze kubali hii mambo ya advertisement isiwekwe kwa gazeti peke yake, because not many youths they read newspapers. So what needs to be done, iwekwe kwa TikTok, iwekwe kwa Instagram, Facebook, iwe advertised, something like that, so that
you have a point,
so we'll do that one. I think maybe there was some not really laxity, but it's just to remind, and I promise you, once I leave here, I will do what I have to do, and inform whoever that I have to inform in the under parliamentary leadership, so that can be communicated to State House, and we can
absolutely. Na mheshimiwa, ukiangalia retreat bado ina go down huko Naivasha. Which minister bede has stood out for you so far in the ruling coalition? Anafanya kazi fiti
Ezekiel Machogu. Oh yes, that man is a great guy. He's literally transforming the education sector. When we came, and people did not understand about CBC, what was going on, that guy ni mchapakazi.
Can you imagine?
That guy is doing well. Well, there are quite a number of cabinet secretaries. Professor Kindiki, with the issue of insecurity, he's fighting bandits. We have a lot of issues with the passports and the immigration, trying to streamline. Kenyans are wanalia mambo ya passports. There's been some sort of corruption cartels ambayo cartels who had actually hijacked the immigration department, so there are quite a number of ministers who are doing extremely. CS Owalo, the ICT guy, I mean, all these guys, honestly, they are all doing well. Now, also I want to say one thing.
Okay.
Also, one man, Reggae G mwenyewe. Yule mzee hapo poa tu sana.
Really,
jamaa.
I think he's a likable guy.
No, he's a nice guy. Yani mzee anasaidia rais sana mazee. He's a nice guy.
I can imagine.
He's like he guides us, the young leaders, anasaidia Orezo.
Lakini kuna watu wako hapo within your coalition, ruling coalition, walikuwa na some sort of sibling rivalry na DP. The people who actually walikuwa nataka Ndindi Nyoro take over, yendo akue running mate come 2027, running mate for the president.
No.
What's the problem with what's the issue rather?
Kevo. This is a one government led by William Ruto and His Excellency the Deputy President. Ndindi Nyoro is my colleague in the National Assembly. We sit together. He is the chair of the Budget Committee. I sit in the Transport Committee. Ndindi Nyoro has a dream like any other. But for now, Deputy President is the man. And we fully support the president's agenda. We support the president, and we support, from where I sit, of course, I fully support.
Do you think the deputy president can unite Central Kenya?
Absolutely. That man, Central Kenya, at any given time, they have one leader. They had Jomo Kenyatta, they had Kibaki, they had Uhuru, Now, the leader, one unifying leader that is going to hold the mountain together. And that is one man, His Excellency, the Deputy President.
But I saw during the funeral of the late AIG Mwangi, the former president alikuwa anasema, unajua, leadership inataka mtu anaangalia mbele. You have to look at the future. You have to be forward thinking. Alafu pia jana niliona the deputy president actually responded chini ya maji. Is it possible that we are going to see one day some sort of handshake between the president and the former president and the deputy president, our current deputy president? Is that likely?
Yes, most likely, yes.
Would you want that to happen?
Yes, of course. The people of the mountain, they have their plan. They understand their politics. They understand all sorts of things. And it is a fact. They have numbers. Once they are divided under the leadership of His Excellency, the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, the mountain will be very strong. Together with Uhuru Kenyatta, if he can put aside his ego. And the Deputy President has said it. He is willing to work with any leader who even fell out with him. Elections are over. It's time to forge the country forward. And Uhuru Kenyatta is welcome not just to work with the deputy president from the mountainside, but he can come and share his idea about a few other things here and there.
Yeah.
And for your information,
okay,
let me tell you today, a lot of people have been championing for Uhuru Kenyatta to be the chairperson of the African Union.
Okay.
Well, I know maybe this was not something you wanted us to discuss.
No. Iko tu sawa, because we actually talked about it yesterday. Tuligusia, and I was going to ask you that as the second question.
So can I?
Of sure thing.
A lot of leaders wanted Uhuru Kenyatta to be pushed by His Excellency President William Ruto to be the chairperson of the African Union behind the scene. There's been a lot of lobbying, I can tell you here today.
Really?
Yes, for Uhuru Kenyatta. But President William Ruto, through his wisdom, graciously decided that let's be fair. We are all leaders. At the end of the day, President William Ruto said we are all Kenyans, irrespective of our political differences, irrespective of our, parties and all these other things.
Yeah.
He said, listen, Uhuru Kenyatta has been president of Kenya for 10 years. William Ruto, His Excellency President Ruto, is now the president of Kenya. It is only right and fair we give an opportunity to Mr. Raila Odinga. And that is why the president decided to champion Raila Odinga's agenda. Not because of any political reason, but because he's a Kenyan like any other Kenyan.
Exactly.
And Raila, let me tell you, personally, I am not against Raila Odinga's bid for the AU job. I actually wish him all the best. Raila can definitely add a lot of expertise and credibility to the African Union.
Yeah.
Which and this will give the opposition time, enough time to select probably a younger candidate for the 2027 general election.
Who do you think is strong enough from the opposition to match Ruto's? Lakini Mesh, I like how the passion you're talking about Raila's credibility.
Allow me, Kevo, to say something.
Go ahead.
In case Raila gets the position for the AU chairperson, he will be out of Kenya politics in 2027. The presidential whatever, That is the reality.
Could that be why the president was pushing for him to get this thing?
Absolutely no.
Ndo akuwe na easy time dealing with
Kenyans. The president doesn't need Raila. Whether Raila is there or not, he is not a threat to us. We beat those guys, Raila Odinga together combined with Uhuru Kenyatta, hands down,
Lakini mheshimiwa, tumeona the president saying in several occasions, including the deputy president, that huyu Raila anataka kuharibu vitu, anataka kuharibu agenda ya serikali, maandamano kila time, nini, mara anataka kupewa kakitu akule, nini. So Raila, we know, si ni wa Kenya. He's been a pain in the...
It is for the interest of the country. It is for the interest of the country that President Ruto decided to sit down with Raila Odinga, not on a handshake discussion, but for the sake of this country. Kevo, you and I will not be doing this thing today here. Kenyans will not be walking in the streets.
That's true.
Because there are people who just wanted this economy destroyed. And the president of Kenya, William Ruto, stood out and said, Raila Odinga, You are my brother. We have worked together. President Ruto supported Raila Odinga to become the Prime Minister of Kenya.
So should Raila support President Ruto come 2027? Anafaa kurudisha mkono?
Absolutely.
Is that what we are saying?
Yes. In fact, we that is what I personally will expect in 2027.
Yeah.
But be as it may, whether they support the president's agenda or the president's bid for 2027, it is not here or there.
Okay.
Our agenda today as a government is to deliver for the people of Kenya and ensure the economy stabilizes. And you can see today, where is the US? How much is the US dollar? Today
should be about 141.
it is actually at 139.
Oh.
Today, as I come here, from 167. I mean, that tells you something. The economy is picking up.
Raila akipata hii job, mheshimiwa, will the government have it easy dealing with Kenyans come 2027? In a nutshell, let's just call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
With Raila in the box, kwa mfuko, does it mean sasa serikali when it comes to campaigns wakidili na Wakenya, opposition itakuwa mingi sana? I mean, when tuliona ile time prezo akisema sasa Kalonzo mnadebatia Kalonzo, surely Kalonzo atawezana na mimi kweli?
That's what the president said. But I want to tell you, this country, Kenya, Kevo, is bigger than William Ruto, is bigger than Raila Odinga, is bigger than all of us. The president's interest, number one, is the people of Kenya. That is what the president's heart is.
Yes.
Change and transform the lives and better. And I want to, today I can confirm to you, this country is headed the right direction.
Yes.
A few years from now, Kevin, you'll call me in this show and tell me, my friend,
I hope so.
You said something.
Yeah.
Kenyans might not see it today, but they will see it in a few years' time. The president has the best programs, best agenda. Look at the prices of commodities; it started coming down.
Yes.
Look at the mambo fertilizer. We remove fertilizer from 7,500 to 2,500 on one single mambo ya employment, one single recruitment. 50,000 plus teachers were recruited. It has never happened since Kenya took over. We since independence.
Yes.
There are so many. Look at the roads now. The stalled road projects the government is putting in has actually, the contractors are now back on site. There is so much coming for this country. So I just need to ask my fellow citizens to give us time. We are going to deliver. And please allow me, I know the time is running out. Allow me to say something.
Please.
About the African Union thing for Mr. Raila Odinga. Odinga's candidature is dependent not only on regional support, but also on widespread approval across the continent. And his team should also lobby for him across the continent, because if he is to get that position, and I can tell you, if Raila Odinga gets that position, it is not for the interest of Raila Odinga. It is also for it is a win for the people of Kenya.
I'm sure.
It is us as Kenyans, because Raila is our son also.
Tukianza hii conversation, Mheshimiwa ulisema, obviously now that means Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga will not be engaging kwa maneno ya siasa, but pia nilikuwa na chiki SG wa O.D.M Sifuna alikuwa anasema what does that mean? Raila bado atakuwa kwa siasa ya Kenya. Orengo said the same thing. What are your thoughts about that?
Nikusema tu, they also have supporters. Their supporters don't, let me tell you. A lot of Raila Odinga supporters, including politicians, they actually don't even want Raila to get that job. They have all their lives political life been dependent on Raila Odinga. Today, when Raila Odinga exits the political stage, many of their careers will go down, because they have been dependent on Raila Odinga, like the likes of Kina Orengo, Kina Nyang Nyongo, Kina Sifuna, all those characters. But I want to tell you here today, Kevo, moving forward, I can tell you today, O.D.M, today where I sit, after Raila's exit, will be another story. It will be the same story as Jubilee.
Non-existent?
Yes.
Itasambaratika. Itasambaratika.
Yeah. Because 2027, Kalonzo Musyoka wants to run as president. And Kalonzo has no support. I mean, I'm speaking. It's the reality. It's a fact.
Are you talking about national Lama?
He has no support.
Okay.
He has support. You know, some of these leaders are just wamejiweka kwa their tribal cocoons. You know, they wamejiweka kama, for example, how do you win presidency when you just go around Ukambani? You can't, my friend. You can't, Kevo.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
But he's a national leader, former vice president.
He's a former vice president by default.
Yeah.
It was by default, not by design.
It's our.
That is from my. Those are my comments. So what I'm trying to say, Kevo, ni kwamba.
Yes.
Kalonzo Musyoka wants to run.
Yes.
We have had the likes of Kina Ali Hassan Joho, the former Mombasa governor. He has already declared interest. Okay, let us put this. Let me try and see how this matrix works. Kalonzo wants to run under Wiper.
Yeah.
O.D.M. They have Ali Hassan Joho. He has already said the other day, live on TV, that no one will stop his candidature from running as a president of Kenya. And I can tell you, he meant what he said, and he's going to run. And he will run under O.D.M. Wycliffe Oparanya from Western, the former governor. He says it is the time for the Western people. So even him is going to run under O.D.M. Where is Kalonzo? If O.D.M. are going to field a candidate, Wiper is going to field a candidate, the coalition is split.
Wow.
How are you going to beat William Ruto?
Yeah, so we saying the opposition after Raila kipata job, mambo ya opposition imeenda hivyo. They can't liberate Kenyans.
Watu wote wa kelele kina Sifuna watakuja watakuja kunyemelea hapa kwetu.
Serious?
I'm telling you, utaona tu watu wanasema O.D.M watasema sisi wacha tukuje tu merge na UDA na Kenya Kwanza. I'm telling you, mark my words, today's date. These guys in 2027 watakuja hapa because no one wants to leave.
In politics, I can't be surprised. Lakini mheshimiwa, nimeona calls ni mingi. Why can't you just say hi to one or two Kenyans?
Okay.
Alafu sasa we can wrap up with the plan now that the House Parliament has resumed sittings. 0719012700. MVPs unaweza piga simu. Remember, we are here with mheshimiwa from Nyeri Chache, that is Zaheer, Jhanda. Kama uko na swali, mazuko na a comment to make, well, the time is now. Unaweza piga simu 0719012700. Webu wa Coast, good morning.
Ni Edu hapo hivi.
Imeandikwa hapa Webu. Edu, uko fiti?
Niko poa manzejo.
Asante sana, karibu kwa show. Tuko na mheshimiwa Honorable Zaheer. Umesikia conversation yetu, tumegusia maneno ya ile retreat inafanyika Naivasha. We've talked about Raila kupata hii job ya AU. We've talked about a lot siasa, here and there, mambo ya 2027. Comment yako, swali ni gani?
Sasa mimi nataka kuuliza kuhusu jobs za majuni nini unacheki? Pia wanatufanyia kuchukua passport inakuwa ngumu, inakuwa ni hectic. Mpo wanatuambia wametujengea job. Hapo sasa ni kutujengea ama wanaturudisha manyu bro?
Sasa umesema kutafuta passport imekuwa hard sana Edu. But uko interested, unadai ku apply for hizi majobs, si ndio?
Man, kwanza hizi za cruise ship jobs buda, hizi za mameli za wazungu nini, hiyo pia inadai, lakini sasa hizo jobs lazima uko na connections na nini ama tuambie tu platform ya kuzi-apply manzi.
Mhesha tagusia. Asante sana for your question. 0719012700. Rapture, good morning.
Hello.
Yo, karibu sana ndugu, tunaongea na nani? Okay, wewe umekatika, looks like you have a problem with that connection. Let's talk to Oti kutoka Likoni. Leo tuko na watu wa Coast. Oti, good morning.
Good morning Kev bwana. Gotea mheshimiwa hapo.
Amegoteka na kuget anakupata clear. Talk to us Oti.
Mwisha naongea vizuri sana bwana. Kwanza hiyo kuhusu mambo na O.D.M, Raila akitoka kwa siasa O.D.M kwisha. Maana watu wengi wamekuwa wakisurvive na hiyo koti. Koti sasa imekatika. Naona watu wa badala wafanye maendeleo wanakuja kubweka na jina Raila. Kwani usifanye watu kazi bwana. Maana alafu acha nikwambie kitu sasa.
Yes.
Raila akitoka O.D.M, Babu Owino kwanza awe tayari kuwa kingpin wa Nyanza. Sisi Nyanza siongei mambo na nini, lakini Nyanza, lakini mwenye atachukua hapo ni Oparanya ndio atachukua hapo baada sasa. Lakini hawatawezana Ruto. Buda. Weza Ruto, itakuwa ni ngumu jo.
Oparanya umesema okay, but unajua kuna watu wanasema Raila anafaa kuachia kijana.
Wacha nikwambie, unajua O.D.M pia kuna structure yao vile wamejipanga, si ndio?
Yeah.
Na Oparanya alikuwa deputy party leader na Joe, ndio. So kama wataelewana, kama watasimama waongee vizuri, wafanye combination ya Azimio alafu Paranya awe deputy wa Kalonzo, watapatia Ruto kazi ngumu sana. Lakini pia sioni kama wakielewana sana. Unajua siasa inakuwa mambo mengi sana bro. But mimi naombea waungane bwana, wapatie Kalonzo kidogo, Ruto atakuwa na kazi ngumu. Lakini kama hawataungana itakuwa ni walkover kwake Ruto.
Uti, I have one final question by the way. Kwanza nimefurahi sana mpiga simu. Kwa ukiangalia hii vile government imekuwa function, performance ya serikali ever since they took over power, unaweza assess aje? Because kuna ile retreat inafanyika Naivasha, unataka ku audit performance yao, maybe re-strategize hivi nini. What's going on? Unaweza assess aje the government's performance hadi wa leo?
Mimi kidogo system ya uongozi wa Mr. Ruto urezo wetu sijaelewa sana, manake imekuwa tricky. Kwanza hii tax wananchi hiyo kidogo naona ilineuma sana. But wacha tuwapatie time, with time tuone kama ataperform vizuri.
All right, asante sana. That is OT from Likoni. 0719012700. You can give us a call by the way. Leo tuko na our MP from Nyeri Chache, Honorable Zaheer, Jhanda, and we're talking about inside the Kenya Kwanza's Naivasha retreat. Tumegusia hapo one or two things. As we wrap up, Mheshimiwa, I'm going to play one song alafu, we take a water break.
Sure.
Tukirudi, you can address hizi ma concerns wa Kenya. Edu hapo hivyo, I can see a lot of comments. Alafu pia we'll wrap up na hii maneno ya the house have resumed sittings this week. They're resuming sittings this week after a long recess. Sasa tunataka kuongelea agenda ya the house ni gani. Tuende kazi. Good morning.
Rebels and reggae heads, start your day the MVP way. Where you are the MVP, no negative vibes.
Banga tunaipenda maze. Kevo Matara, your local energy provider, is my name. Karibu sana kwa show. If you're just joining us, we're in the third hour of the show. Tunataka kumaliza kubonga na our special guest, the one and only Zaheer Jhanda. That is Mheshimiwa from Nyeri Chache, MP Nyeri Chache. Yes, kama uko na maswali, keep on talking to us kwa hiyo hashtag morning vibes. Nazicheki. Phone lines call, piga simu. We really appreciate you. Now, Mheshimiwa umechikizo ma phone calls zilikam and Wakenya wamebonga. There's a guy called Edu anasema easy ma jobs surely. Wanasema watu ende tugetizo ma passports na ni complicated kuziget sahi. Alafu yeye pia anashuku ni kama ata have kukua na connections ndo apate job. Kenyans have this thing of connections. Mtu ukimwambia kuna opportunity hapa hata amini, anasema nafaa kujua mtu labda mhesha anaweza ni organizea. What do you have to say about that? Uni Edu.
Okay, I want to tell my brother Edu that truly I agree. There's been a little bit of laxity on the communication side, how this job should be advertised, and of course, as I had said it before, ni kwamba issues ya my youths wengi nowadays hawasomi magazeti, so I think we are going today when I go back to parliament, I am going to bring it to the attention of the house that because these jobs are available, we have to do something very urgently so that it can go in a government website or something, through TikTok or something. It will be advertised. And also I want to accept there's been issues on the passport. Is the reality because Kenyans have been crying. There's been a backlog. There's been a lot of things. In fact, that is one of the issues that that was raised yesterday by members to the president, and of course it was directed to the Minister for Interior, that is Professor Kithure Kindiki. And there's been a lot of issues,
na historia connection. Kuna watu wanafikiria tu ikitu watapatana na merit kweli ama nafaa kujua mtu kwa ministry huko.
No, there's nothing like that. That not under the William Ruto administration. No. So wawe tu patient kidogo.
Ini serikali ya hustlers.
Ini serikali ya hustlers, ni serikali yao. Hakuna mtu anaitishwa kitu yoyote. Mtu akikuitisha hiyo ni fake. It is unless otherwise, but otherwise it is not accepted, it's not agreed. Serikali haitaki ulipe chochote.
Sawa. Kuna chale anaitwa John Mwangi anasema, Kev, kindly ask for us Mheshimiwa whether Gava has a program for a free passport to those who can't afford it. Alafu anasema tuko na papers ndio but hatuna majob. So history about passport pia, clearly watu I think Kenyans are broke.
It's not possible to have a free passport.
Okay.
Because this passport is not done it's not done by the government of Kenya as such. It is a tender that is advertised, then foreign companies wanakuja wanafanya hivi, wanabid, so whoever wins the tender you know, because of, you know, it mambo ya passport is very 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 deep, you know. Kuna mambo intelligence, security, so a lot of things. So we have to pay as a government. We must also pay the supplier, you know, like unapata ink zilisha, vitabu zilisha, supplier mekataa ku print more books because akona pending bill anadai gava, and you know, so those are some of the crucial issues, discussions that we also raised yesterday in the Naivasha retreat, you know, and they're going to be sorted out. In fact, the president has already given directive that the supplier our passport should be paid through treasury 1 billion immediately so that they can help fast track, because ule supplier pia alikuwa anasema nadai gava do, so asiwezi kutengeneza. Sasa we are under a lot of pressure, so a directive has been done, and I'm sure, I promise you, anytime from today utaona passport zimeanza kutoka.
Sasa alafu mheshimiwa, on a good note, on a positive note, kuna watu wanakubiga hapa hivi. There's kuna anaitwa nani, Valentine Orare anasema up and I'm excited that Nyeri Chache is gonna be better than before in the hands of Honorable Jhanda. Alafu kuna Anju anasema Nyeri Chache iko locked in, ambia mheshimiwa tunazidi kufurahishwa na kazi yake ya kutafutia vijana ajira katika nchi za ugenini. Like you said, so this thing is actually happening.
Yes, it is happening.
Mweshi kuko ground bana.
Niko ground mbaya mbovu. Sitaki kurudi nyumbani.
Wallahi.
Sirudi nyumbani mimi. Nataka nifanyie watu.
What are the biggest concerns ya mavijana huko hivyo home?
Ni job tu mazee.
Wakibonga na wewe mazee wanakulizanga vitu gani?
Mazee mwesh ni aje buda. Mazee tunataka wera. Life imekuwa hard, economy go down, and you know, it's not William Ruto that has done this economy to be this way. He's actually allow me to please say this. You know, when Kibaki was left office, he left a debt of about 1 trillion. When Uhuru Kenyatta left office, he left us a debt of about 9.7 trillion. For every 10 shillings, in every 10 shillings, I can tell you, Kevo, 8 shillings inaenda kwa debt.
What? Every 10 shillings made?
Every 10 shillings inaenda kwa debt. That is how bad it is, the reality.
It's crazy.
So imagine 10 bob inaenda ya taxpayer. 8 shillings inaenda kulipa debt. Alafu tunabaki na 2 bob. Tulipe salaries, tuendeshe inchi. So pia watu wapatie orezo time.
Sasa alafu mheshimiwa zi wrap it up, because I can see now we're left with about 10 minutes to saa 3. I hope hatujakukalisha sana.
No, it's okay.
Umetoka recess. The house is resuming sittings this week, of course.
Yes.
And apparently kutakuwa sasa na debate, reject or approve various pieces of legislations in the floor of the house. Na sasa kuna hii maneno ya, of course, the housing program, affordable housing project, na NADCO, the National Dialogue Committee, which made several proposals aimed at changing the structure of government and creating new political positions. The report is out there. What do you think is the position of the government when it comes to Mambo and NADCO report?
I think we support it. From where I sit, I think it's a good report. It is for the best interest of this country. And I think as government, we shall fully support it.
What proposal stood out for you kwa hiyo NADCO report?
Mambo ya IBC, you know, hapo ndio kuna kuwaga na ma pressure. You know, we have the country must come together.
That's interesting. Na mambo ya nini housing levy. Unajua Kenyans, especially the courts, the courts walikuwa na issue. Wanasema this thing has no legal framework. Can you go and sort this thing out? Fanyeni due process. You know, but pia kwa ground wa Kenya kwanza, people who are in the formal employment wanasema, man, guys, you can't be digging into our pockets like this. Hata kama mnasema inafaa kupitishwa by all means necessary. What are your thoughts, mheshimiwa?
The housing program is an amazing program. It is a program for the people of Kenya. As at today, over 147,000 Kenyans today under the housing program wamepata kazi. And I project, by the end of the year we will be doing approximately over 350,000 Kenyans who will have gotten jobs. Number one. Number two, today when we go back to parliament this afternoon, the affordable housing bill debate resumes today. It resumes today at 2:30. So, and this is the last stage. Tukipitisha inaenda Senate na sisi tuna comply na koti. Koti so walisema muende mukoroge, ndio tunakoroga hapa bungeni, so that we comply vile sheria inatakana, tumalize then the debate proceeds to the Senate, ipite, tusukume mambo.
Sasa that is Mheshimiwa MP Nyeri Chache. Mesh by the unajua kuna watu wanasema wa Mwisha kai kuongea hata kikisi. You know me Makisi.
Oh really?
Hapo Mnamira.
Second name
Matara.
Okay.
So there's a place huko inaitwa Nyabioto. That's where my dad is. Anafanya huko farming, very dangerous.
Nice.
You need to pay us a visit. Watu wanaweza fry sana.
Nyamira.
What message do you have for watu wa Nyeri Chache wakikusikiza sasa hivi?
I want to tell the people of Nyeri Chache, my people, that I love you guys so much. I know some few characters, they don't like me for who I am, but it is what it is. I am their leader. They have to accept me. The people voted for me, and I am going to do the job that they gave me. I am going to serve the people that voted for me, and those who did not vote for me, because we are one people, we are one country, we are one nation, we are one.
And then there's a challenge over here. We're a unit.
Country.
We're all in this together. We're one country. Kuna mtu anakupatia challenge. Anasema mheshimiwa wasema kwa kikisi that unasikiliza vibes, unapenda vibes na kukuwa hapa hivi na Kevo Matara. Tuende kazi. Do this finishing style mheshimiwa.
Biamono sana. Yasai abaseseni.
That's it.
Hiyo ni kusema thank you so much and God bless you.
Good one. Asante sana mheshimiwa.
Thank you.
That is Zaheer, MP for Nyeri Chache, Honorable Zaheer Jhanda, na leo tumekuwa tukiongelea the state of the nation, specifically the Kenya Kwanza retreat uko Naivasha. And I hope guys enjoy sana. In the next hour, I'll tell you how you can walk away with some money courtesy of Tazama Utuzwe, alafu pia tunaenda kuangalia nini na happen on the internet streets. Hey, there's a lot we'll be touching on up hivyo kwa XP. I can see it's a crazy trending list. Sasa hii ni 7 minutes to saa 3. Kevo Matara, your local energy provider. Penguin inakuwa mina beat. Twende kazi.
Modern Vibes, where you are the MVP.